Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been quite a while since I've made a new video, so I wanted to jump on today and talk about the dangers of too much detoxification and hopefully save you guys some of the pain and suffering I went through. If you're new to my channel, I'm Melanie, certified health coach, Reiki master teacher, and vitalist herbalist, and I can't wait to share everything in today's video, so let's get started. Okay, so there is definitely a lot that I could say about detoxification. It's definitely a major part of my work with clients and my own healing journey, but I won't go into too much detail about any of that. Today's video, I really want to focus on my own experience overdoing the detox, how you might know if you're overdoing the detox, and ways to balance that out. So I think for a lot of people, doing additional detoxification isn't really necessary. However, for those of us with long-standing chronic illness, a lot of our symptoms may be caused by an over toxicity. People with leaky gut, GI issues, nervous system issues. There's so many, right? Chronic illnesses, autoimmune conditions, I think, could benefit from doing some detoxification. However, with that said, our bodies are beautiful and inherently intelligent, and we have so many detoxification systems that are always working for us, thank God, because we would not live very long, especially in our toxic modern world without that. But there are a lot of different therapies and supplements and things that we can do and take to support our body's detoxification. So rewind maybe 3.5, 4 years ago, I had another pretty big relapse in my chronic illness symptoms, and that kind of threw me down the rabbit hole of pretty intense detoxification, raw veganism, plant-based diets, pretty even like doing a lot of juice fasting, green smoothies, enemas, all these things, because I was so desperate to heal. I know that so many of you understand that feeling. So I fell in with, several, let's call them health gurus, that really pushed this way of life, really pushed a lot of the detox stuff. I won't name names here, but if you followed my work long enough, you can probably guess what I'm talking about. So I was doing so much of that, just like I was taught to do, just like I was supposed to do, right? Tons of juicing, tons of raw veggies. I was also doing enemas, water enemas, coffee enemas, not necessarily every day, but enough where it was part of my lifestyle. I was taking a handful of supplements just for detoxing. I was eating extremely low fat, if not no fat on most days. Drinking, tons of water, herbal teas, all these kinds of things, doing Epsom salt baths, all of these. I was doing IV chelation, IV glutathione, not all of these all the time, all at once, but this is over the span of about 2 or 3 years. I really dove deep into this because, again, I felt like crap and I wanted to feel better, and I was so desperate to feel better, and I was being fed this information by people that were, I will say, hopefully well-intentioned, but not well-informed. So I kept going, and even though a lot of my symptoms were getting worse, and overall the health of my body, like the structure of my body, was starting to go downhill, but again, I kept getting the answers that, this was just detoxing, this is just a detox symptom, you just need to write it out, or maybe you're not doing enough, maybe you should add this thing too. So I did, and after 2 or 3 years of doing this, and again, this is my experience, my story, everybody's different, this may not apply to you, but after doing so much of this detox work, following a vegan diet, not having very much fat or protein, my body really started to disintegrate, and in little subtle ways that I really didn't notice. Now looking back, I can see like the structure and components of my body were breaking down. So I developed really bad TMJ in my jaw. My jaw was in pain and clicking and popping. I noticed my joints started more. They had always kind of clicked and popped before, but that's another story. It's been a long journey for my health, but it got so much worse. They were popping, clicking. My joints felt more lax and more open. Like my hip would start to kind of pop in and out of the joint socket. My ribs would start to kind of pop in and out as well. So like I know that the connective tissues of my body were breaking down, mostly because now I know I was not getting enough nutrients or not replacing the nutrients that I was detoxing out. So my body wasn't able to rebuild. I was also taking in so many toxic plant foods, so many oxalates, so many phytates, so many lectins, all these things that were breaking down my gut lining and lodging themselves in my tissues, causing more pain. Joint issues, my teeth, I started having dental issues as well. A lot of my gums started receding. I had tooth pain, jaw pain, chronic bad breath. I went to a dentist maybe once or twice during those couple of years, because again, there was kind of an overlap between I was too sick to leave the house and also COVID happened. But when I was there, they said that things were in pretty bad shape. They were going to have to, drill and fill a few of my teeth. So my dental health went downhill as well. Like I mentioned earlier, pain. I was in more pain, especially in my joints. My muscles felt weak and fatigued, even more so. I started having even worse sleep. Doing all of that detoxification was so intense, especially at periods, especially during I was doing heavy metal detoxification, in addition to kind of the day-to-day detox, and that made my anxiety so much worse, made sleep so much worse. I started having more heart palpitations. My menstrual cycles kind of went all over the place. I was able to kind of patch a little bit of that with some herbal remedies, but since then, I have been able to balance things out, but we'll get to that in just a minute. So I just want to, first of all, I just want to save you the health and suffering or the pain and suffering of doing these things in the name of health. I know, again, we're always just doing the best that we can with the information that we have, but sometimes it's not good information. Sometimes we are detoxing our bodies into the point of breaking them down, and that's what my experience was. So if you are currently following a vegan diet, especially a raw vegan diet, doing fruitarianism, or doing tons of green smoothies or juices, and that's just kind of your way of life, and you're constantly detoxifying, I encourage you to at least take a break, if not stop all that completely. It's really important to balance these seasons of cleansing with seasons of rebuilding, restoration, really feeding our bodies the nutrients that they need to build and to be healthy. So thankfully, over the last year, I have brought back a lot more foods. I have stopped taking a whole bunch of supplements. I no longer do juicing. I no longer do smoothies. I don't do enemas. I don't do IV treatments. I don't do any of that stuff anymore. I'm really in that rebuilding phase of my health, and I feel so much better. I feel so much more grounded. I know I have a long way to go, especially in repairing my gut after so many years of all of those toxic plant foods and just ignoring, my body's signals. So now I eat a ton of animal products, ton of fat, all those fat soluble vitamins, bringing in things like bone broth and meat stock to try to rebuild the connective tissues of my body. So I wish I would have known about this earlier. So I'm here to maybe put out that warning to you. Again, if you're not willing to give up that lifestyle altogether, I just implore you to take a break. Take time away from the detoxification to rebuild and replenish your stores, and really tune into what your body feels like, because there is a way to feel better and to get healthier without punishing your body, without stripping your body of all of its, components and nutrients. So yeah, I mean, again, there's a lot to say about detoxification, and I do think it can be helpful in some cases for certain periods of time. But overall, I think that this is something I see a lot in the holistic health world, that we're really overdoing it, and it's really damaging to our bodies and our brains. So that's just a little bit about my story. Hopefully this was helpful for you. I would love to hear your experience if you've been through something similar. So drop me a comment below, and I will see you guys next time in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.